Hey, how are ya? This is Michael, and I wanted to throw this little video in. I want to call this one a sort of a devotional video. I have, I, I guess this might be a little more information than you care to know, but I generally will keep a book in the bathroom, so that the times that that I'm meditating, I can have a book to chew on, to read a little bit, maybe a chapter, or little portions at a time, to slowly get through it. It kind of keeps me, on a steady diet of it. And this particular book that I'm reading currently, let's see if I can get it where you can see it. It's called God's Passion for His Glory by John Piper. And I found a little section in here that I guessed, well, there's a lot of things in here that I've marked. I got dog ears and little other things to mark the pages as I find these things, because they just kind of strike me. And sometimes if I have a pencil or a pen, I'll kind of put an asterisk or something beside it to let myself know where it's at. But this particular one I thought was so good that I wanted to share it with you. And it's actually a quote from Jonathan Edwards, and I just wanted to read it to you because I think it's so worth us spending some time thinking about what's said. Okay, so here's the quote, and I'll try to have it printed and put it up on the screen too, so you can read along as I'm reading it in the annotations. The quote says, "The enjoyment of God is the only happiness with which our souls can be satisfied. To go to heaven, fully to enjoy God, is infinitely better than the most pleasant accommodations here. Fathers and mothers, husbands, wives, or children, or the company of earthly friends, are but shadows. But God is the substance. These are but scattered beams, but God is the sun. These are but streams, but God is the ocean." And that's taken from Jonathan Edwards' The Christian Pilgrim. And it can be found in the Works of Jonathan Edwards, Volume 2, put up by Banner of Truth Trust in 1974, on page 244. And the meaning behind that, just to think, the reason I want to share it with you is because for me, it's caused me to think, what do I value? Where do I put the majority of my concern and thoughts and cares? This is one of the things that I like so much about Piper, and he models this from Edwards, Jonathan Edwards, is, he always, Piper makes no bones about that. He feels his purpose of ministry is to teach and preach the supremacy of God in all things. And Edwards was the same way. So, truly, the problem we have, in our world and in our flesh is, that we will put emphasis and value on things other than where we're supposed to, which is God, right? And so, this quote, Jesus himself said that, unless if you love father or mother more than me, you're not worthy of me. If you, basically, if you love anything, any person, any relationship, any object, any situation, more than him, then he says you're not worthy of me. So I think that it's a call for us to really think and to stop for a moment, to be still, and to think on God, and to think, how much do we truly value our relationship with Him, His words to us, His person, His character, His attributes, how He works in the world, what He calls the world, what He demands from not only creation but from His people. And then to think that if we were put in a situation where we were called to sacrifice something for Him and for His love? Are we willing to do that? I was in a car wreck at the end of February that I'm still recovering from, and from what the doctor says, I'm always going to have, my foot's never going to be right. But at the moment that car wreck happened, as soon as my vehicle came to a stop, and of course, the sudden impact, you lose consciousness for a moment. But when I came to, and I couldn't catch my breath, because between the airbag and the seat belts and everything, it took my breath away. And I was sitting there fighting to breathe, and I really thought that I was going home at that moment. And what came to my mind is I had a 3-year-old son at the house, a wife who was pregnant. So immediately I thought, it's like, Lord, if there's any way that you could, leave me for the sake of my family. But, at the same moment, though, I was not in control of the situation. We never are in control of our situation. That's the great, that's probably the biggest delusion that we as people exist in, is because we have fooled ourselves to think that we're in control. All that, of course, is effect from sin and the fall. But He put me in a situation at that moment to where there was no way I could deny that I was not in control, and I was completely at His mercy, as we always are. But at that moment, it was real to me, and I knew that in that instant I could go and I could be in His presence. And the sinful tendency of my own heart was, I was wanting to hang on because of my family. I mean, that's an honorable thought, right? That's an honorable desire. But based on God and His Word, I'm supposed to desire Him more than my family. Now, not to the exclusion of my family. See, we don't want to go too far in the other direction. My love to God is to manifest itself through my love to my family. But if given the moment, Paul said, to die is gain. I get to be with Christ. But to live is to be Christ for other people. So, I just wanted to share with you because it's something that's on my mind, and of course I have a very fresh, real example of a time in my life when it seemed to me there was not a choice, but there was two options in play. And it's a test as to where your affections are. I just wanted to share that. I thought it was a powerful quote and a good devotional meditation for us that I think is definitely important. So I appreciate you listening in, and I pray that God will bless you through His truth.